Hello, fam. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of October 17th. Okay, so how's everyone doing? That's my favorite question. How are you doing? I just want to give everyone permission to struggle, like give everyone permission to have days that are hard for the environment that we're living in. I was speaking with my cousin yesterday, the brilliant astrologer, Madi Murphy, and she was talking about just the movements that happened in 2025, the first 6 months of 2025. I guess in recorded astrology, there's no moment where all of the outer planets have changed signs at the same time. So when people say we're living in unprecedented times, it's not really an exaggeration. Is there always transition and always change? Yes. But does this time feel particularly just unique? I don't even want to say disorienting, because the other thing we were talking about was the fact that like before 2000, there was life. And then from 2021 to 2024, like it was all 1 year. Does anyone else feel like that? Like if you look at pictures, you're like, oh wait, was that 23 or 24 or 21? Like it's hard to tell the difference. And then 2025 it's like linear time doesn't even describe it anymore. And then what she was saying was how just out of time and space this year is, because it's because of the way these transitions are happening, because of the movements and the fact that we just haven't been here before. And I say that because give yourself permission to be experiencing what you're experiencing. And in my advice or my thought would be, what if it was for you? And I know that can be hard when you're in the thick of it, in the thick of the trying to take the new pose or trying to set the boundary or trying to metabolize the energy or trying to even understand what it means to metabolize energy. It can be really hard. But I do have faith in what we're uncovering, what we're discovering together. And don't forget that joy, authenticity, these are very high vibrations. They vibrate almost as highly as love. I think authenticity, there's some measures where that actually vibrates higher than love. So there's something about the integrity that we're being called into that will never be a mistake. So just be so good to yourself. Find communities that hold you and support you and are with you and don't need it to be different for you. Don't need you to pretend or perform some movement of change or some movement of compassion or even some movement of action that don't feel aligned to you. I feel like we're entering a time where it would be okay if we were all more gentle with ourselves and therefore more gentle with the world. But that's my 2 cents. We're in this moment in October where we have the sun and the wheel of fortune. Things are changing. We've discussed this, and they're changing pretty unexpectedly in October. So you just might be surprised who's coming in and out of your life, who's cycling in and out of your life, where you find yourself, and what that's doing for you, to you, with you. The card I pulled for us this week is the Death card, and it feels just so right on time. We're moving into Scorpio season. I think it will be this week. And I think Mars and Mercury are both in Scorpio. FYI, my Mars and my Mercury and my Sun are all in Scorpio. I feel pretty right at home in this energy, but there's a reason why I trigger people. There's a reason why it doesn't always feel good to be seen with such intensity. And so you might be seeing things with a level of intensity that's not your home base, that's not your resting point, and that might feel exciting on some level, challenging on many levels, and just revealing in a way that might take you by surprise. So again, patience with yourself and really, 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 really finding a place where you can be quiet enough to hear what's true for you, to hear what your intuition is, to hear what the next steps are, to hear what the intuitive movement is. Because it's so loud, we can often not hear the quiet whisper of our intuition. So whatever's happening for you, get yourself a practice that allows you to find calm and peace and quiet and space and breath so that you can actually hear what is true about this moment. I will point you towards Cheryl Huber recording and listening, because that technique is brilliant and has never failed me. When you're in a moment where you don't know which way to go, or you don't know how to make the shifts you need to make, or you feel hopeless or you feel confused, Cheryl Huber recording and listening, look it up, Google it. It will bring you so much insight and so much peace. And I offer it again and again. It's free. She has so many resources on her website. She's brilliant. Her books are brilliant. It's not as sexy and as glorified and glamorous as some of the self-development work out there, self-help work out there, but it's so profound in its simplicity. And so before you kind of knock it or before you dismiss it, if you find yourself struggling at all, please, please, please Google that and give it a shot. You have a recording app on your phone. You can make this happen. Anyways, back to the death card, back to Scorpio. So I pulled the death card, and the first thing I got was we're just in this intensity, this Scorpio intensity of, and we're talking about it in Mystic Rising, the alchemist, the phoenix, the transformation, the burning away of what is false, the burning away of what is not ours, the separation from the residue of others, the residue of the chapters we have left behind, helping us find this distillation, this purity, this essential quality of ourselves, and this essential quality of where we want to focus and the lives we want to live. Yeah. So again, the highest octave of Scorpio is Phoenix energy, right? We have Eagle, Phoenix, Scorpion. Those are all here with us. And there's something beautiful about the reformation. There's something beautiful that even in the wildest moments, something is forming, something is taking its shape, something is finding its way to the light. So feeling how much Scorpio intensity is with us feels like the first message of the death card. The other thing that always comes through, the classic line in classic tarot literature is the king is dead, long live the king. So the death card is constantly pointing to the cyclical nature of all things. Interesting. I think is no King's Day this week. That's interesting. So the king is dead, long live the king. Partially, again, what we're processing and working with right now is we thought there were systems in place that were here to keep us safe, that were here to kind of lay the ground rules, lay the track, put the lines on the field. So it's like, okay, I know the game we're playing. And all of a sudden, that field, that track, those lines, we're losing the shape of it. We're losing the parameters of it. And while that can be like, oh my God, what's happening? In the best way, that's like, oh my God, what's happening? All these new things are possible. There's all these new possibilities. That's been my experience of the Sachamama, the snake, the South medicine, and the shamanic wheel. This go around has been this really renewed perspective around how much I don't know. And I really thought I knew what the ground rules were. I thought I knew what the field looked like. And part of what I'm processing in my own unraveling, becoming is a sense of, wow, I don't even know. I don't even know what field I'm on. Like, I don't even know what the game is anymore. And there's something about that that is disorienting, but incredibly liberating. And I hope you can feel some part of that. So the death card in a week ahead says that there's some fundamental dying away. There's some transition. There's some transmutation, transformation happening. I do feel this externally in the world for sure. But most key always is how that's experienced in your own body and your own system. And there is something about this inner conflict resolution or this acceptance or this peace being made or this new form taking shape within you, and how that allows you to play a new game, allows you to step onto a new field, allows you to enter a new terrain that you haven't been able to enter before. But the king is dead, long live the king. I just want you to meditate on that or think about that or feel that. Like, what are the kings in your life? Where have you given away your power? Who do you think knows better? Who do you think is supposed to be worthy of your allegiance? And where is that falling away? Where is that changing shape? And just know that we say that the king is dead, long live the king, because there will always be something kind of cycling into that position again. Nature abhors a vacuum. So as you're clearing space out, know that there will be invitations to join with, connect with, engage with new energies. And you get to decide for yourself from this place of reforming, from this place of transition, where you want to align yourself, where you want to be. And I always think about this question. My teacher, Kendra, I don't know what we were even talking about. And she used to say it all the time, but her and I were having some exchange at one point, and I had asked her something, and she was like, girl, how do you want to live? And that question really changed my life. Like, it really changed my life. And yeah, dude, actually, how do I want to live? Who do I want to be? What do I want to offer the world in terms of my energy, in terms of my work, in terms of my art? And it changed everything for me. So if you feel unsteady right now, I really offer you that question. How do you want to live? What do you want your life to be like? What do you want to be like in life? And how would you move if you knew you couldn't lose love? If you knew it was all okay? Even the most intolerable things, if we're surviving it, they're tolerable. So tell me what you would do differently if you knew you couldn't lose love, if you knew it was all going to be okay, if you were really fighting for the life you wanted. So the death card, can it mean literal endings? For sure. Is it always in service of who you are becoming? 100%. The death card will say, get comfortable with Scorpio energy, get comfortable with the fact that things are pulling away. Once again, we're in a 9-year. So anything that's leaving your space just can't go with you. It's not really, talk about detachment of the alchemist that my Mystic Rising crew is like, stop saying detachment. But there's something about that, right? Why do we want to keep things that don't want to remain with us? Why do we want to hold on to energies that have stopped feeling alive and nourishing and aligned in our lives? So just notice where the hesitation, what's falling away, what your experience of that is. And it doesn't mean you don't grieve it. It doesn't mean you're not sorry for things change. We all have that moment where something changes and we're like, I liked it better when it was the other way. And so that's valid. But there is something about the call to become a bigger version of you, a more authentic, aligned version of you that can't be denied. You can deny it, but it becomes a struggle. Like you just put a lot of energy into denying it and literally fighting the tide. So the death card is an invitation to not fight the tide, to let things fall away when they want to fall away. It doesn't mean they won't be reborn in another shape or another form. It doesn't mean the thing won't cycle back into your life. It just means for now, we have to open our hands and let it go. We have to open our hands and let it go, knowing that by putting it into the fire, right, by burning it on the altar, we allow new possibility. We now allow new life into our lives. So the death card, number 13, 17th week of October, feels right on time, entering Scorpio season, the thinning of the veil, all of that energy is with us. I haven't really spent too much time thinking about it, but or the new moon, maybe it is. It's a new moon coming up. But one of the things Madi also said to me yesterday was that this is the first Libra new moon that is not associated or linked to an eclipse, and we haven't had one of those since 2023. So there's something about the way she was explaining it was like the dying away of the old stories we have around connection, around Venusian energy, around balance, around connection and union and relationship. She's like, in how we share ourselves and how people share themselves with us. She was like, all of that's been getting cleared up. And so this is the first new moon we step into where it's the new version of us. Who are you in partnership now? Who are you in relationship now? What do you find beautiful? What do you find romantic? What are you compelled towards with this new version of you? So, death card, we just release, we relax. We let the skin fall away, we let the cocoon fall away, and we stretch our wings and try to discover who we are on this new day with this new possibility, and honor the passing in whatever way feels good to you, but don't despair at the passing if you can help it. All right. So much love to you guys, and take best care right now. Take best sweet care right now. Bye.